so excited for this new change. In case you can't tell, we are switching to video.
Here we
are on video now. It is our inaugural video podcast.
The Mariners Sogcast video edition.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
It's the three of us rocking the Mariners Sogcast. Well, here we go. First week.
Let's get into it.
That's right, we're here. Mariners Sogcast video edition.
First week. First 2 weeks are in the season, and the Mariners have not been good.
They've been lackluster.
Been trash.
It has not been good baseball. They ended their first opening homestand with a losing record, which is something you don't really want to see. You don't really want to have a losing record after your opening day homestand.
Yeah, we took some games. At least we didn't go into the first road trip like buried, you know what I mean? We're still ahead of the Houston Astros, which is always fun to see in the standings. But that also just goes to show, like, it's only been 7 games in the first homestand, right? So going 3-4 in the first 7 games isn't the end of the world, but we do want to see the Mariners start putting some offense out there and hitting the ball over the wall.
And I'll say two of those games that we lost in that opening homestand that the Mariners lost were winnable games. There was a couple that you're just like, that's just baseball. You're going to lose those games. But, I mean, for example, the final game of the homestand against the Guardians, I mean, just from the first inning, you could tell that game was over. That was just one of those games where you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, how much longer do I have of this? You can tell it's going to be over.
I decided to go to that game, the last game of the homestand, Wednesday afternoon game. And yeah, it was over before it even started, man. It was tough. And we'll get there. We're going to start a little recap here because we recorded last Saturday and we record every Saturday night for everybody listening, just so you're aware of when we record and when the episodes come out. I mean, let's go all the way back to last Sunday where we split the series with the Sox. We had Bryce Miller on the mound. And he pitched 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, and had 6 Ks.
Honestly, that's a decent start. Like, you can't really fault a guy, especially someone on the back end of your rotation like Miller is. He's our 4th starter. If you're looking at 4 runs is a little high, but when you look at the 6 hits, it shows that he wasn't like getting pieced up all up and down the field. They pieced together some hits and they managed to score some runs off of it. But, 5 innings, 6 hits, you just look at that. That's not a bad line.
Yeah, and 3 of those 4 runs came on a Valdez 3-run home run in the 4th inning, which kind of buried the Mariners early since our offense wasn't working out. Like, the Red Sox were throwing all kinds of junk at us. Every pitcher they threw had breaking ball, and from different angles, from different speeds, they were really getting us. We couldn't hit the breaking ball for shit that whole first series.
I saw something that the Boston Red Sox, during that 4-game stretch against the Mariners, only threw something like 29% fastballs. It was something astronomically high of just breaking balls, that the sweeper that is such a popular pitch nowadays. And, just curveballs, changeups, anything off speed. They were throwing it at like 71% clip to these hitters, which is insane. But it just goes to show that Boston did the scouting report, saw the Mariners struggle against off-speed pitches, and just continued to fire it at them.
They just continued to fire them at us.
Yeah.
And we couldn't hit them, and they knew it. We just came into the series, I don't know, not looking ready to hit major league pitching. You know what I mean? So we split the series with Boston. And, it sucks to get struck out 3 times in the first inning. That's a tough way to start a game on Sunday afternoon to end the series with the Sox. But, I mean, they did what they needed to do and pitched us to our weaknesses. And they did what they needed to do to get some wins. The Boston Red Sox aren't slated to be one of the best teams, but they're making the adjustments they need to make, and the Mariners need to be able to adjust to that in game too, and like not stick to their pregame philosophy, but adjust to what they're doing to you during the game as well. So the Guardians came into town on Monday. We haven't mentioned yet, but Stephen Vogt is the manager now. He was our bullpen manager or coach last year.
So that's crazy. He literally went from playing with like the A's and then retiring. Then from the year he retired, had 1 year as a Mariners like bullpen kind of catcher coach thing, and then went from 1 year of that to now managing an MLB team. That's pretty cool. I mean, and that goes to show that while he was playing, the coaches and like already higher ups knew that this guy was slated to be a big league manager. Because I mean, that quick of turnaround, comparable to that for the Seattle Mariners is our first base coach, Negron.
Yeah,
who went from playing for the Mariners and getting demoted to Tacoma in 1 year, retiring, then becoming Tacoma's head coach, and then the year later becoming the Mariners' first base coach. So it is really cool to see these players with kind of this quick turnaround from playing to managing or coaching in some degree. So yeah, the Vought thing is really cool. And
Vote.
Like,
Vote. Yeah.
Sorry, I've been watching too much The Boys on Amazon.
He Vote's a lovable guy in the league. Everyone that's played with him and has been around him knows that he is one of the most knowledgeable guys in the game too. Like he has a really good feel for what happens throughout the course of a game and what kind of moves are like he'll fit right in, no problem. And not to mention he's taking over for Terry Francona. Like that's a legend, dude.
I like Terry Francona.
Yeah, and the advice was just like be yourself, dude. Everyone knows who you are. Like just be yourself. And he's going to fit in perfectly there, man. I think he's a player's kind of manager, and I love him, and yeah, good for him, But he came into town, and the Guardians ended up pitching the Mariners pretty well, too. I mean, they kept throwing breaking balls at us as well. They were spinning it. They weren't Shane Bieber, for one, he's just an automatic ace, and when he's on, and he really showed us,
Also, quick side note on that. Did you hear?
Yeah.
Shane Bieber, dominant 6 scoreless innings in both of his 2 starts to start the year for Cleveland. They had a lot of high hopes for him, and it just got announced today that he's having Tommy John surgery.
It's a bummer.
He's out for the season. It's brutal. That sucks. You never want to see anyone get hurt, but especially an ace. And the AL Central is already such a crapshoot. Like any team could take that. And the Guardians had a legitimate shot, and Shane Bieber going down really hurts them. That's tough to see. Always sucks to see someone get hurt. So rest up, Bieber, and hope you're back in a year and a half.
And take some time. I mean, we've seen it with our guys. Robbie Ray was slated to make it back in like August this year, and it takes some time to come back from that. So the Guardians,
but before he got hurt,
he
carved up the Mariners.
he sure did. So the first game against the Guardians on Monday, we had Emerson Hancock make his first start for Brian Wu since he's out with it was elbow inflammation, and hopefully he'll be back fairly soon. But Hancock did pretty well. He had a 1, 2, 3.
Showed up with a banger first inning.
Yeah,
he did.
How many pitches he throw?
6,
something like that. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3 first. Like hell yeah, let's go. His line was 5 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, but only 1 strikeout. And he gave up 1 homer to end his day. And they pulled him after that, after 5 1/3. And that's okay. Like he did what he needed to do. He produced poor contact. He got the outs he needed, and that 1 home run added to his earned run total, which it's okay. It's good to see what Hancock can do from the 5 spot until Wu can get back. And he was effective enough. I just hope that he can maybe get some more swing and miss and up his Ks at some point, but we'll see what his put away pitch is and how well he can make his second start here in the next series.
Have you also noticed that it seems to be kind of a trend when we have these guys come in and fill up for a start that they don't get a ton of strikeouts? I noticed it. Tommy Malone when he had his starts last year. He would come in and do serviceable, 5 2/3, 5 1/3, something, 1-2 runs. It would limit them, but it was just the strikeout numbers were always really low. And I think it just goes to show that like when you bring these guys up for this major league talent, you can still pitch well, but you're not going to overpower these guys.
Kind of reminds me of somebody that we just traded away this offseason. Marco Gonzalez, not overwhelming, but like can spin it and like be effective most of the time, and maybe he'll give up one too many home runs, a few too many earned runs, but it's the 5 starter, That's the point I'm making, is like that's good enough for the 5 spot.
Sure. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, so we're happy with what Hancock showed us, and hopefully he continues to work his way in there. During this game on Monday, Julio made some great plays out in the outfield early and robbed Brennan of 2 hits, one that was going to hit the wall out in center field, and one a sliding diving catch to rob him of like a single, which was sick. It was a nice way to see Julio come out and show no fly zone that's his area out there, During the game also, Laureano got hit by a pitch like on his hands while he was swinging.
Wild,
you see that?
Oh, that play was brutal.
I don't understand it.
Neither did the umpires.
Clearly. Was there ever any explanation of why that call was made?
So
the man swung at a pitch.
So for our fans that might not have caught the Monday night game, what happened is there was a situation where there's an inside pitch. Laureano swung.
Laureano.
Laureano.
Yeah, swings.
Laureano swings. It hits him.
On the hands.
And what did they rule it on the field?
I think they called it
like a foul ball.
They had to have called it a foul ball, because otherwise, I mean, we would have gotten out. I don't know what happened, but
it was a very strange play. Anyways, he got hit on his hands while swinging the bat, and by all rules, intents, and purposes in baseball, if you are swinging and you are hit by the pitch, the hit by pitch doesn't matter because you are actively swinging.
Yeah, so they called it a hit by pitch, but he was swinging, and they even reviewed this play and sent it to New York. So the call on the field is hit by pitch. He's definitely trying to swing at this ball. It's off his hands. That's a strike. And yeah, I don't know. New York didn't even get it. They put him on first base, hit by pitch.
That's wild.
Because I was listening to the radio when that happened, and even like Rick Riz and Dave Sims are like, "Did they change the rules overnight?" Like,
I actually got to watch that game.
Oh, you watched that one?
I'm hoping for a John Boy breakdown, and so he can really like look at the rule and tell us, because I didn't do enough research into that, but it was obvious that should have been a strike and not a hit by pitch.
There was something funny that came out of that though.
Yeah, there was.
Dylan Moore got ejected.
He was fired up, dude.
He was pissed.
He was like, if Service isn't going to go out there, I'm going out there. He was out there quick.
Someone's gotta stoke the boys.
Yeah, dude, he was fired up.
I also heard about that is that actually Logan Gilbert was yelling from the dugout. So Logan was the one all fired up. Umpire looked over and thought it was Demo being shitty.
Wow.
So he ejected Demo and
it's pissed him off even more.
He's like,
what
it's
did I
this
do?
guy. It's What the hell? So he went out.
He was ejected before he got on the field.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was ejected. He stormed the field.
I didn't realize
after.
That. But either way, get fired up, Demo. I love to see it. He wasn't even in the game, and he got ejected. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I made some jokes in our group chat being like, well, if Scott isn't going to fire the team up, Demo will do it.
Good.
And honestly, respect to Dylan Moore for going out there. And I mean, you're already ejected. You might as well get your money's worth and kick some dirt and argue and stuff. But damn it, I want to see that more from Scott.
Yeah.
I don't want a bench player coming out, like a guy sitting on the bench and hoping to pinch hit in like 6 innings.
Scott should be on the field.
Yeah.
Once he sees his bench chirping, if he sees Logan chirping and the umpire's looking your way, you should be out there already. You should be halfway to the umpire, especially during something like that, where it's a bullshit call and everyone knows it. All the players should be fired up, and your manager's got to be the go-between, and he just wasn't there. And so the umpire ejected someone from the dugout and didn't care who, just to send a message.
I don't think Scott likes conflict.
He needs to get out there,
He's
man. Hopefully we see him get fired up this year. Also, he might be on the back end of his contract. We'll have to have that conversation at some point where, like, I don't know. Maybe he's not fired up for a reason. Maybe he's sending a message.
Now that we're on video, I can do my Scott service.
Or the hand wave. Like, okay.
Awful.
That's how he disagrees with things?
That's what you're going to do? Be slightly catty?
He puts on a slight stank face and a little hand wave.
Come on, man. That's not the right call.
He just always looks confused. And it's like, well, go out and say something about it.
He's so reserved, man.
Yeah.
Well, either way, on Monday we ended up winning 5-4 against the Guardians.
Avoided the sweep that way.
We could have scored more runs. JP at one point hit a shallow fly ball to center field with 1 out, and Ty France was on third base. And they tried to score on this shallow fly ball to the outfield, and Ty France got doubled up at home. And we had multiple runners on base. Julio was on deck. I mean, he hadn't had the best day yet, but, like, you have to put your best hitter at the plate in this situation. You can't be taking the risk sending Ty France home on a shallow fly ball. Like, no, dude, even though he lost a few pounds, he's not fast. He's never going to be fast.
We get it.
It's faster than Mookie Betts.
He lost like 12 pounds on Jenny
it.
Craig, and we're very excited for him. But it doesn't automatically turn him into the Flash.
No.
Like, he's still dragging that wagon behind him.
Look, we love Ty, and, like, the third base coach, Manny Acta, right? He sent him.
That was a Manny Acta mistake.
But then later in the game, Julio ran straight through a Manny Acta stop sign, too.
Yeah.
So, like, we want Julio to hit with runners on base, but then when Julio is on the bases, he runs straight through a stop sign and gets thrown out at home, too. So that's 2 more runs that were sitting there waiting to be scored where we just shit them away, man. We let them take those outs.
Yeah, Julio had a bit of a rough game on Monday too, with or on Wednesday as well. Sorry, damn it.
That's okay. I mean, so Monday he had a good start to the game with the good defense, and then later in the game he was all pissed off because they were making mistakes. So he ended up not having the best day.
On Monday, I was right. He made the mistake too of also jumping for a ball and pushing it over the fence.
Yeah.
So he ran through the stop sign that game and also gifted him a home run.
The run assist.
Somehow
we ended up winning this game 5-4. So
that's some chaos ball for you.
Yeah.
But I thought this was really funny when I was listening on the radio because I'm pretty sure, I mean, Riz has been around the Mariners for like 30 years. Dave Sims is like a decade plus at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, but Riz especially, have put in the time in to be the announcers of this team. But you can tell that they have in their ear, like producers and stuff, like they cannot say anything negative about Julio Rodriguez at all.
Oh, right.
There are certain restrictions that are put on them, I'm sure, where they're not able to criticize their franchise player, the guy that's going to be here until they retire. And it does suck, but we just talked about the King 5, Paul Sylvie and John Stanton interview. It's the same thing where, like, they're not allowed to be critical. Like, we want the critical thing, but we got the PR thing, you know what I mean? And same with everyone has their level. Look at we can say anything here on YouTube. We're just a bunch of guys hanging out. We built a set to show you guys how serious we are. We love the Mariners, and we can kind of say whatever we want here, but every level of professional production has rules, and they can't be super critical in that way.
I mean, I feel that, but also they could be a little critical. And you could just tell that they had notes in their ears being like,
they'll always say something like,
so
that's an unusual thing you'll see from Julio. He doesn't usually do that. Does he not usually do that?
Push the ball up for a home run? Because it was funny. I was listening to 710, and Riz is like, he jumped for that ball at the wall, and it hit off his glove, and it went over. But what a rare occurrence. You wouldn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
expect that from someone like
No, you wouldn't.
And it's like, yeah, we get it, but also you can
Gold's
be
dude.
like, oh, you could have squeezed it, you know.
I was listening to the radio broadcast during that play, and Goldsmith absolutely sold it that he robbed that home run.
no,
I was
Goldie.
listening, and he was like, and Julio makes yet another amazing play. He robs a home run. And then he's like, oh no.
Oh no.
He didn't catch that ball. It's a home run. And I'm like, dude, you need to make sure. And then the whole next inning, I could tell he was being very clear and concise and careful. Like, he really blew that call. He was so emotional about him robbing the home run. And I was, oh, man.
I've really grown to like Goldsmith. I used to not like him
You
at
used
all
to not.
because of that kind of thing. Exactly.
If he made that
It's
catch.
high, it's deep, and he makes the catch on the warning
Yeah.
track, and that's out number 3.
But when the ball
Like,
goes
what are you
over the
doing?
fence,
Don't
he
get
has
me
a
all
great
stoked.
call. I think
Yeah.
that's why. He's like, I'll take that risk and make
That's
it a
true.
really great call when the thing happens.
If
But
it-
if it doesn't,
yeah.
then I got egg on my face, you know. Looks
Yeah,
stupid a little
That's
bit.
He
a
wears
little
it.
roll of the dice.
He'll own it. It's fine.
Also, you
I
do
like-
you
I like
do notice
Goldsmith.
that with kind of newer commentators and stuff
fine,
as
yeah.
they're learning.
Like I said, I've
from,
grown to like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like him too. I'm glad you like him over there too,
I mean,
Garrett.
shit, I've been to a billion Mariners games, and there's still some times where I see the ball lift off the bat, and if I was an announcer, I'd be like, oh my God, this is going 700 feet. This will never be caught.
Caught on the
and
grass.
and it's the shortstop railing that one in. Whoops. Looked good off the bat. It was a home run in an elevator shaft.
And I noticed that in the 300 level, it really looks that way too. I was at the home run derby in the 300 level, and I thought pop-ups to like just past shortstop were going out to left. It
You're
was
like, oh, he's
crazy.
cooking on this one.
It's a crazy angle. So we won Monday.
Yeah.
The first game against the Guardians started off well. We go into Tuesday. We lose 5-2 against the Guardians. This is the day that Luis Castillo pitches, and we want this day to be an automatic win. Like, this is our ace. This is our number one. And I don't know what it is exactly, but I know
can tell
that
you
we're
what it is.
playing.
10 hits, 4 runs.
Yeah.
I mean,
mean,
10
he-
hits. That's in 5 2/3. It's just he hasn't been ace potential to start the year. Yes, you on paper you see Luis Castillo, you say automatic W. Just go ahead and pencil that in. But this is why you play the games. Yeah, I mean, it's not a spreadsheet that decides who wins and loses. And Castillo has been in the margins.
A team like the Guardians that puts the ball in play that much, they don't strike out a lot, you know, and Castillo's kind of a power pitcher. They made him work and picked good pitches to hit. They know how we're playing defense. They know how to put the ball in play, and the Mariners should be playing more that way. But Castillo, he gave up only 1 home run, which is good, only 1 walk, which is good, 7 strikeouts, which is good. But 10 hits, we can't have 10 hits.
On top of that, he didn't get a lot of help from the defense either.
It's very true, man. We've had sloppy defense from our third base position. Rojas and Urias have been not great over there, and it's very obvious.
Their arms are just they don't have strong arms over there.
I think Rojas has a strong enough
I think
arm.
he does.
It's just like
Good
he's
enough.
just offline. You know what I mean? He's kind of
Well, that's not
sailing it,
good.
or
I mean, it doesn't matter how hard you can throw it if you can't throw it straight.
I guess. I mean, I think he has a strong, powerful arm, but maybe he needs to work on getting that ball across the infield a little better. I think Rojas is trying really hard to make a jump to be a good defensive third baseman, but there's no automatic plays with him anymore. Like, not anymore, but going from Suarez to Rojas is like, you really notice. And I think Rojas has been better than Urias at third base so far, but Urias is also an athlete. These guys, there's no givens with them, but I see Rojas working hard to make improvements on the fly, which I like a lot.
One of the Mariners' biggest issues during this opening homestand, especially, was their defense. And that's been one of the Mariners' strongest suits in this previous years. is, I mean, even when their offense was dog shit and they couldn't hit a ball to save their life, they still always had pretty good defense. So for this season to kick off and to see our defense lacking, it's definitely, I mean, it's like jumping into cold water. It's a splash for you, you know. It's weird to see them, one, not making these like choppers to third, where Kyle Seager and Suarez held it down for 11 years.
Yeah, it seemed automatic.
10 years of Seager, and then, I mean, I guess 2 years of Suarez.
Something like that.
Yeah, so 12 years you had dominant defense at this third base position. Now, it's not automatic. It's average defense, but us Mariners fans have seen nothing but superb defense from the third base position. So now average defense looks atrocious.
Yeah.
Because we are used to every play being an automatic out when it's hit to the hot
Or
corner.
having a lot of confidence when that play is happening.
Yes.
Now it's nervous.
Ooh, there was one play that was really good. I think it was Rojas made a great move to get the ball and then lost it on a transfer or threw it offline or something. But
This is what I've
damn,
noticed.
you got half of it right.
Yeah. That's what I've noticed is like Rojas looks like he can do it, but he has to learn on the fly. Like he's not a fully developed defensive third baseman,
him there.
but he's
I'm confident in Rojas.
He's getting there. Like he's taking steps forward, and it's easy to see.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully he just holds it down over there over the next few weeks and really. The defensive positioning has to get better for the Mariners too. Their defense against
I hope
lefties.
I'm not jumping ahead too much, but our left field defense has looked kind of shit,
Yes.
Yeah.
especially from
It's been-
can zone.
Honestly, left field has been a crapshoot since like the Raul Ibanez days.
Yes.
Like I loved Ibanez, but damn, having him as your left fielder, like come on. Left field has not been a strong suit for us. I
No.
can't even remember the
For
last
years.
I can't even remember the last like everyday staple left fielder we have.
Jared Kelenic.
I mean, he wasn't even every day. He was
No,
getting
he wasn't.
platooned. If I had to rack my brain for this, I would go back to like Randy Wynn.
Yeah, dude.
Like Randy Wynn was the last like left fielder.
Like
'Cause
you were
we-
saying, Raul Ibanez too. Like those guys at the same time. Like those were our most stable left fielders over time. And yeah, I mean, with Canzone dogging that play last week, he's been better this week. He
I'm
has
sure
been.
he got chewed out for that.
Oh, he's been better. I know he's gonna learn from that real quick, and he has a decent arm. I think he has one of the better arms in left field, honestly. Luke Raley is decent out there, but those guys are there for offensive production. We have to give up a little bit of left field defense for some bats to hit some balls over the fence. You know what
Are
I'm
they
saying?
hitting balls over the fence?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully
Come on.
soon.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's a big
There's
problem.
not a whole lot of that right now.
Dom
What do we have?
Canzone
Do
did
we
hit a
have-
big 3-run homer.
Oh, after today, I don't know how many home runs we have now.
Polanco hit one today.
Polanco hit one today.
Something
Saturday.
like 6, 7.
6
We
or
had
7.
4 before today's
Not
game.
great.
So not great at all. We hadn't scored 5 runs before
strikeouts,
yesterday's
though.
game.
80 something.
Oh yeah. We had more strikeouts than total bases before today's game, which is
Woof.
That's
really
not good.
yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
We all know it. We all know that it's early in the season, and we do say it all the time that the Mariners kind of start off notoriously slow. We started this series in soggy Seattle, and
Yeah, I guess
it's obvious that
we're talking about this like that's a given.
It
we
is,
should
though.
say it is a given,
It
but we still
is.
got to say it. It's so early in the season.
Yes.
We don't really believe that the Mariners are going to hot dog plays all year long. It's going to be fine.
It
But
will be.
we're talking about this week. It was not good.
It was a rough week.
What
of
else can you
baseball.
say?
anytime in the season we have a week like that, it's not fun at all. It's miserable. I'm taking notes throughout these games, and I'm just miserable. Like, okay, here we go again. Like we have
Yeah.
a leadoff hit and strike out and pop up, and like, what are we doing? Like when we have the opportunity to do it, we're not moving the runners properly. We're striking out with runners in scoring position. Nothing has really been good except for our bullpen has looked pretty solid. Like that's the best thing, our best section of our team. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
And let's lead into the Wednesday game, and hopefully everything that could happen in that game was the worst stuff that could happen, and hopefully it's all out of their system. But the Wednesday game was literally over in the first inning.
Oh yeah. Wednesday, 1 o'clock game. The last game of the homestand.
Excited. I was at work. The sun was out. So I was even thinking, I was like, oh, the sun was out. It's kind of warm. The Mariners might put a charge in a few balls today.
George Kirby was pitching.
Marine layer be damned. Like, let's hammer these balls in the nice springtime Seattle weather. Sure enough, got shut out.
Yeah, man.
And it was brutal. In the first inning,
it was tough. Dude.
Very first pitch of the game, George Kirby gives up a base hit to Stephen Kwan. And it was kind of funny because listening to the pregame show, like Riz and Angie Menting, all them in the booth discussing, they actually brought up, should Kirby focus less on strikes because teams know he wants to attack the zone so much that they're gonna jump on him.
They're gonna swing early.
They're gonna swing early. And sure enough, first pitch of the game, base hit. And you're like, okay, well, he jumped on the first pitch. That happens. Whatever. Then the next hitter, George Kirby has him 0-2. I mean, right in the palm of your hand. And very next pitch, Kirby hits him.
Yeah, it's a left-handed hitter. He threw a breaking pitch down towards his feet, and he hit him on the foot. I went to this game, actually. I decided to go to this game last minute. It was a beautiful day, like Patrick was saying. The boys looked loose. The guy that looked the most ready was Dylan Moore. I'm going to tell you that. But, Kirby, off the get-go, I looked at our left-handed defensive positioning, and I said, uh-oh, like, this isn't going to work. Sure enough, Stephen Kwan, single through the infield, and then, has the next guy, 0-2, just absolutely spikes this ball, like, throws this thing right at this guy's feet. And so right away, 2 runners on. And after that, I mean, they were off to the races. Joe Ram slaps a double. They had another rally in the second inning. Also, George Kirby struck out Bo Naylor twice in this game, and both times he reached first base. Both times.
Yeah, that's right.
So early in the game, I was like, okay, sick. That's great. Just let them get on base. Let them score more runs. And then later in the game, we did it. It was like the 6th or 7th inning. It had to have been the 6th inning because I left before the 7th inning stretch. Maybe it was the top of the 7th. But we've struck out Bo Naylor again, and Sebi Zavala couldn't grab the ball, and it went to the backstop a second time. And I said, I'm done. I'm done. I'm leaving. There's no chance, man. That game was over before it even started. The first and second inning. And then the Mariners had a quick turnaround to get Kirby back out there again. They didn't give him any help.
Kirby was fighting for his life the first 2 innings. So makes it through the first, makes it through the second, struggling, tons of traffic, runs being scored. And what do the Mariners do in the bottom of the second? Go 3 up, 3 down. So Kirby doesn't even get a chance for a breath. And now he's right back out there. And that game, I mean, that's one of the ones that you just wish that was never even played. 8-0, Mariners got shut out. Absolutely brutal game. There's no positives. There was nothing fun to look forward to in that game. There's nothing. I mean, like, what positives can you take out of an 8-0 shutout? You know
nothing, man.
Like,
Polanco and JP collided on a ground ball in the infield too, which I wasn't happy about. It was ugly. I'm glad no one's hurt, but they hit pretty hard. It was kind of a JP was on his knees and Polanco went tumbling over him because JP saw Polanco was coming and he got down, and they're okay. It looked like Polanco might have cleated JP's ear for a second. And I was like, oh, geez, that's close. Like, cleat towards the head was scary, but I think they're both okay. I haven't heard anything else about that. But that's scary, man. We don't need that on a game like that. So, that wrapped up the homestand on Wednesday. And on Thursday, the Mariners are traveling to Milwaukee.
Cheese curd.
It's cold in Milwaukee.
Nothing happened on Thursday. I was happy to have a day off of baseball after watching
We
the
needed
misery.
it. We needed that day off, man.
Honestly, like Thursdays usually suck for me because I'm like, oh man, there's no baseball. Like, what am I gonna do? But after that homestand, I was like, thank God it's a travel day.
I don't need baseball today.
I could take a day off.
There
and
was
hopefully-
some overwhelming baseball being played the days before. Tuesday and Wednesday was a lot.
Yeah, Wednesday especially to wrap up the homestand. No, it was the Mariners' first rubber game of the season, so. They had the series split. It was to decide who wins the series. And we had George Kirby on the mound. Wednesday afternoon, sunshine. You thought everything would be perfect.
It felt great.
And that was very short-lived, and it just became
It's going to be tough to
disappointing and sad.
It's going to be tough to do the linens, the laundry after the shit in the bed. So hopefully we were hoping things would turn around here on Friday and Saturday out on the first road trip of the season.
And now you're asking us, Mariners Sogcast, how did Friday go? Any better? No, it didn't. We lost that one too.
Yeah, Friday night
I
baseball.
mean, it was a good game, though.
It's better than losing 8-0. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there was more things to hang your hat on in this game than there
Yeah.
were previously. The Mariners hadn't scored 5 runs in a game until Friday. It was the Athletics and the Mariners were the last 2 teams to not score 5 runs. And the Mariners did it, so now it's just the Athletics. They still haven't scored 5 runs.
Quick side note, what's crazy about that is the Marlins have scored over 5 runs, but they have yet to win a game.
Oof.
The Miami Marlins are on a nice historic 0-9 to start the season.
Ouch.
So,
Yikes.
hey, Mariners aren't that bad.
Nah, no, they're not. We're hoping that they will never look that bad. 0-9 in any 9 games would be very disappointing.
Yeah, hopefully we don't go 0-9 in a 9-game stretch at all.
I doubt that happens.
Yeah.
With a guy like Logan Gilbert on the mound. I mean, Gilbert looks pretty nasty. His stuff is good. He went 5 2/3. He gave up 4 earned runs, 5 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk, but he gave up 3 home runs. Like, his stuff isn't bad, but it's really location-based. When he leaves those balls up in the zone, they get absolutely blasted, man.
And that's the crazy thing to think about from that game is only 5 hits,
5.
but 3 home runs. So only 2 hits were bleeders or just, a little something that drops down. But 3 of the 5 were getting launched. And that just shows that his stuff was not on point.
I mean,
that
I think
day.
his stuff is fine. Like I said, I think it's more location. I think like his RPMs are probably good. I think his pitch mix is good, but it's all like when he leaves the ball up in the zone, his fastball especially. You can't work behind an account and throw a fastball up in the zone and expect anything good. But I mean, it's all about sequencing and location with Gilbert, because if it's in the zone, it's going to get hit. It's a lot of the same coming from Castillo. They have to trust their stuff a lot. And it's tough when they put it in the zone because his fastball is pretty straight, Logan Gilbert. And I'm glad that he's worked a cutter in at least to work between his slider and his fastball. And he can kind of keep the batters off balance a little more, but I really think it's location-based with Gilbert. And I'm not worried because it is only the second start of the season, and I think he does have good stuff. I think he's cerebral. He'll take another step forward and start attacking hitters the way he should. And when he's locked in, he's going to look awesome. And I'm the same with Castillo. Like, there's going to be days where those guys go over 10 strikeouts and give up 0 runs. And I can't wait for that turnaround because 3
We're
home
all
runs is
waiting.
not cutting it.
But I agree. I'm not worried about Logan. Love Logan. Probably my favorite pitcher on the Mariners.
What do you guys think about Cody Bolton?
It's good.
I mean, he's looked really good.
Yeah.
I've seen his name pop up a lot. It seems like Bolton and Gabe the Babe Spire are getting a lot of early season work.
Yeah.
And I'll just say, Gabe Spire is clearly the go-to guy in any hold, or like he doesn't have like save or closer potential, but anything with the game on the line where we need to hold him, it seems like Gabe is kind of that dude in our bullpen this year. He's getting a lot of early season work, and he's been pitching really, really well. So
We call him Gabe the Babe for a reason.
It's great.
He looks sexy out there when he's throwing, man. I went to a game last season, towards the end of the season. He's a robo babe. Yeah. Dude, he looks so good, man. I sat on the first base side, and he's a left-handed pitcher. He's facing me, you know. Like, I could see his face when he's pitching, his whole wind-up and everything. He looked absolutely filthy last season, and I can't wait for him to do exactly the same this year. He is our high leverage lefty and I think he will get save opportunities when the big left-handed bats are up in the ninth. We'll go away from Stanek and Munoz and Brash and start throwing someone like Spire in that high leverage spot. Cody Bolton, on the other hand, he's a right-handed pitcher he's been in when the Mariners are down. You know what I mean? He's a good, like, let's hold this and give our offense a chance type of dude. And I like that. He's pitched 1 2/3 innings. He's pitched 1.1 innings. He can go 2 innings if we need him to, I think. And he's a nice addition to our bullpen. We really needed to see that out of Bolton because I didn't know what to expect from him at all. And apparently he can throw a sinker, a cutter. He's got 5 pitches, the changeup, slider, fastball.
He can also throw to other bases.
He sure can. He came in.
They always say pitchers have a hard time throwing to anywhere that's not home.
That's true.
it is true. That is a fact.
Hey, Cody Bolton's an athlete, all right?
He can even pitch backward.
He picked off Willie Adames at second base.
Yeah, dude.
He came in. He didn't even have to get the out at the plate. He got the third out, picking off Adames at second base in scoring position, which was sick to end the 6th inning and Gilbert's night.
This is kind of an odd throwback, but we had a reliever. The Mariners had a reliever for a little bit. His name was Joe Beimel.
Oh, I remember
Beimel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Beimel. And when I first started really, really liking him, he came into this one game. This was, 3, 4, 5 years ago now. Jesus.
Time flies.
I'm getting old. But he came in, leverage situation, runners on first and third, 2 outs. It's like the 7th inning. He comes in, does his full warm-up, gets all loose. He's on the mound, steps up, comes set, doesn't even throw a pitch. Just pick off to first, got the guy out, and just a reliever coming in for essentially, I guess it's kind of like a walk-off pick in a sense. Like, it doesn't end the game or anything like that, like a true walk-off. But to come in and like an inning-ending pickoff from a reliever just coming in is
pretty cool.
It's an exciting play. It's really, really fun, especially because the whole rigmarole of getting a reliever warmed up. I mean, it's an event,
Yeah.
They stop first. The manager comes out, talks to all the players. Pitcher gives them the ball, walks off. This guy comes in from the bullpen. He's got a slightly jog, kind of knees to chest.
He's been warming up for a good 10, 15 minutes out there, getting hot, ready to throw his best fastball.
Now he's got to run.
Now he's about to run 150 yards
Yeah.
to make it into the mound. Then he does his warm-up pitches to the catcher. Ball's in, coming down. Whole 9.
The whole song and dance.
And then doesn't even throw a damn pitch and just picks out the first inning over.
Yeah.
Like,
He knew exactly what he was doing.
it was hilarious when Beimel did it, and it was great when Bolton did it on Friday. So just a kind of little funny little mini play that happens in baseball that I'm a big fan of. That's hilarious.
We needed that too. I mean, Adames was on second with 2 outs. He's a runner in scoring position. We just took that out of play and we went to bat. So Polanco ended up getting a leadoff hit, and then he was stranded. Like Polanco, who hasn't been doing much, he's been striking out more than anyone on our team. He has over 10 strikeouts. It's crazy.
Home run today, though.
Home run
Did
today?
hit a home run?
We'll get there.
I know we're not there yet.
Polanco, he's been swinging at pitches in the zone, which is nice.
He's swinging at pitches.
But he's just
Period.
missing.
You could
He's
end
just
it there.
missing.
He's hitting the ball hard too. I mean, even during like opening day, he had 2 different balls that he hit very well. And one of them especially I thought was gone.
That foul ball, yeah.
And Marine Lair, boom. What are you gonna do?
I think it was wind.
But Polanco, I like what he's been doing at the plate recently.
Swinging.
It hasn't showed up as much in the stat sheet.
Mixing a
but
barrel,
he's-
kid.
He's due, And I think Polanco realistically can hit 17 to 20 home runs this year. I think so.
Yeah,
I think
too.
so.
easy.
If not more. I mean, if he starts getting a hold, the way he swings, he's an aggressive swinger, and he does swing at most pitches that are around the zone. He takes pitches that are outside the zone. He's not a huge chase guy, I've noticed. Like, he's aggressive around the zone, and that's what we need more of. We need a guy who's out there looking to do damage. He's just missed it. I've seen him foul balls straight back. I've seen him rope balls into the stands foul, and it's like, dude, you're right there. Like, mix in that barrel. We need to put that ball in play. And it's been tough to watch him strike out so much, but you can tell he's there to do damage. And when he's on and seeing the pitch well, putting the barrel on the ball, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. And I'm okay with him swinging like that, as long as our whole team isn't striking out over 30% of the time, which is really rough. If you think about it, there's 27 outs in a game. You get 27. If we're striking out 10 plus times, that's over a third of the outs that we're giving are not putting the ball in play. They're absolute no chance to do anything good unless you're Sebi Zavala and let us get to first base, which would be sick. That's the only good result from a strikeout is being able to reach first on a pass ball. Yeah. That's it. Otherwise, a third of the time we're done. There's no contribution. It's just that's it. We're giving them a third of the outs. It's hard to watch.
You know what else happened Friday?
What happened?
My boy Samad Taylor
Yeah.
makes an appearance.
He sure does. His debut.
His debut, yeah.
I had to make my peace with saying goodbye to Taylor Trammell. Miss him. Wish him all the best. But now we might have a replacement for me. Taylor Trammell is now off to greener pastures.
Yeah, let's put it
be
that
real.
way.
Yes.
Samad Taylor is now the guy I'm kind of the underdog that I'm kind of
Well, I'm
rooting
glad.
for.
Welcome to our side of things.
But let's be real, though. Ty France is out on paternity leave because he's
I know.
finally had his baby. Congratulations,
Hey, congratulations, Ty
France.
France.
So Samad Taylor got called up to our roster to fill in until he's back. So I'm kind of glad it wasn't Haggerty, though. You know what I mean? I'm glad we got Samad Taylor up here in some work because he's made a difference right away. Late in the game here, when we needed it most, Dylan Moore, leadoff single, Samad Taylor, another single up the middle. We moved Dylan Moore to third base, and then
This is when we're down by a couple runs.
Two.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
down by two.
And it's late in the game. This is the 9th inning.
Yes.
And Urias hits that ground rule double, which kind of killed me
Oh,
because
that
Samad
would- that
Taylor
would have been.
would have scored from first. If that
would've-
ball
Yep.
stays in the yard, Samad Taylor scores from first, and we get another run. We do end up scoring that run, but
Hey,
we
we'll
had
keep it in the park, boys. That sucks. That sucks so bad. If
he
it
put
didn't-
it over the wall, but
I
it
know,
bounced
On the
over.
bounce.
That's what I'm saying. I said keep it in the park.
Yeah.
We could have got a run out of that.
Yeah.
So JP ended up chopping out and not advancing any runners, which sucked. Julio came up in a big situation, first and third, and he grounds a ball to the shortstop. And we do get a run off of that. Taylor scores from third there. It's an RBI ground ball fielder's choice. We tied the game. It's 5-5. Polanco walks. So there's runners on. Haniger's up. He flies out. So that inning's over. It's tied 5-5 though. In the top of the 9th inning, the Mariners finally put together some offense and tie the game.
And then what do they do in the bottom of the 9th? Put in a closer in a non-save situation.
Do we have any good reason to do that? I mean,
No.
is there a
but
good...
I'm gonna have to learn how to make a graphic. Put it up right here. Closer in a non-save situation.
Once we get
We
better,
keep doing it. Yeah, once I learn how to
like
do
once
it.
we learn how to video edit, we can just do this
Right
and put
here.
cool graphics in and be like, and show them that. But as of right now, we're learning.
But this is gonna
Hello.
keep happening, and
I mean, I've been talking about it for 3 damn years.
I have to keep hearing about it for 3 damn years. I wish
Don't-
they'd stop doing it, so I can stop hearing you bitch at us.
So
No,
I
hate-
wonder though.
I hate closers in non-save situations.
I'm on your side too. I agree with you 100%.
This was happening with Seawald. And
it happens with all closers.
And it moved over with Munoz. But I wonder, like like, do the Mariners go talk to Munoz and say, hey, man, you're only in when we're ahead in the 9th inning? Or, like, does he know that there's a possibility? I will say, I mean, it does, I do agree with you, but I will say, like, we scored those runs in the 9th inning to make it a tie game. He might have not expected to pitch, but that's a mental weakness too. If Munoz isn't mentally ready to pitch that 9th, if we score enough runs to pitch, that's on him. If he isn't ready and has to warm up quickly and isn't in the zone because we were just down 3 runs, like we just tied the game at the last moment and he's finally thrown into the fire, but he wasn't mentally ready for it, that's not on the Mariners. That's on we're putting our highest leverage pitcher in the highest leverage moment, regardless of if we have the lead or not. And I think there needs to be more communication where he knows he's going in a tie game and needs to get it done in that situation as well. I understand that he performs better with the lead, and I would like to see him only pitch with the lead. We have other pitchers back there that can get it done and in a tie ball game in those high leverage spots. So I agree with you, and I want to give him a little bit of slack, but also it seems to me that's mental weakness.
I can't wait for what Patrick's about to say.
Go. I see what you're saying with mental weakness, and you could be right, but it doesn't change the fact that this is how closers operate. Do you think the New York Yankees were putting in Mariano Rivera just willy-nilly in a fucking 5-5 game? Oh, it's 5-5 in the 9th.
I would say he's ready to go in that tie game.
I do see what you're saying, but it's different, man. Baseball players are fucking weird. They're weird guys. Pitchers are extremely weird. I'm a pitcher. I'm a weird guy. Pitchers are weird. Closing pitchers are like they belong in Arkham Asylum. They hung out with the Joker.
They're psychos,
and,
dude.
Like they're weird. They are a weird group of guys.
It's true,
and it just comes with the territory. They are a weird group of guys that perform in a certain way during a certain time.
And that window is small,
them,
yeah.
It messes up their whole mantra, their routine, their this, that, and the other.
They're not dancing to the rhythm of the game in that situation.
It messes with it, and I hate it. And I even said in our group chat after the Mariners lost that game when Munoz came in 5-5 in the 9th, he immediately walked the bases loaded, could not find the strike zone, and then, I don't know, he might have gotten one out.
He struck out one guy. He struck out Jackson Churio to get one out.
And then
where he had to get all 3 strikeouts.
Yeah.
So
and then he walks the guy in for
Wilson.
A walk-off walk. And all I said in the group chat, I was like, was that a closer in a non-save situation? Sure enough. I mean, 4 walks in 1 inning? What are we doing? And
that should never happen.
No.
In the bottom of the 9th inning.
Any pitcher at any time 4 walks in an inning is unacceptable.
Yeah, dude.
But with the highest pressure on, you walk the bases loaded the second we score this game. We didn't even have a lead in this game.
No.
And the second that we tie the game up to give us a chance, a fucking fighting chance to win this game, it's absolutely given away by Munoz, which that's scary because it adds to our pile of problems and things to worry about when that should be a lockdown thing. We should expect that Munoz comes in and throws strikes, but they were not chasing. He was just missing down. He wasn't bad. It's just that he wasn't there. It wasn't in the zone, and they just let him throw pitches until he was rattled. He didn't have his worst stuff. He just didn't put him in the zone, and you need to do that, especially when you're so nasty. Throwing 100 miles an hour, you have a sinker that you can throw at 96 plus, and you have a wipeout slider. Throw that sinker a couple times in the zone, dude. Like, I don't understand exactly what he was thinking, but he was just missing a lot, and then he got rattled, and it was ugly.
Yeah, in our show notes here, it says, what the fucking fuck, Munoz?
Yep, I definitely put that in the notes.
Yeah, I had a similar thing. I was messaging with with my friend who's new to baseball, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, Munoz? I said the same thing to him, and he said that he has this look about him that he looks like he's in trouble, like he's gonna get yelled at, like he's kind of like, oh. And I was like, he definitely looks like he lacks confidence. Not all the time. The end of last year was pretty good. But as soon as Sewald left, he had this like not confident thing about him. And I wanted to ask you guys what you think about that. Do you see that in Munoz? Because I'm like looking right at it. I'm like, what? And even in his post-game interviews, he's like, yeah, it's my role. Did he get promoted to a job he doesn't feel comfortable in? Like, does he not believe in himself?
I don't think he has the same type of rock hard confidence that Paul Sewald was. I called Paul Sewald dad.
I know.
Like, Munoz is like some cousin who just throws really hard, and you're like, well, hopefully he hits the strike zone, you know, because he's got nasty stuff, but he's not confident. Like, he can't. I don't know. I don't know if it's a confidence issue. I think he has a ton of confidence because of his stuff, but
like I'm saying,
toughness.
That went away quickly. He came in and really got it done for the last half of last year.
There were some shaky times then, too.
But could it also be that it's a closer in a non-save situation that's just like doomed to fail?
I like the question you brought up, and I'd say there's two parts to it.
It's a good question, yeah.
Yeah, one, a closer has to be that dude. He needs ice in his veins. Like, you have to come in, you have to walk to that mound in that ninth inning being, I'm the shit.
I'm built different.
I'm going to get it done.
They cannot hit me.
They're not. I'm going to overcome. I'm going to win this game for my team.
I'm an alien. They can't do anything to me.
Exactly. You need that mindset as a closer. And I do agree Munoz was kind of thrust into that role after the Sewald trade because Paul Sewald was our closer and Munoz was kind of the setup guy. He had some save opportunities here or there, but it was Paul Sewald as like the dude.
Having Munoz go and then Paul Sewald in the 8th inning, we were confident. We were like, this game's over. Wrap it up. Put a bow on it. Let's go home. Especially it was Munoz Sewald.
Because Sewald throws like 92 miles per hour.
I love Sewald.
So when you have Munoz peppering up these guys, throwing 100 to 102, and then you have Sewald coming in and throwing a little bit less, it was messing with the guys.
Yeah, different arm angle, different velocity.
Mm-hmm. And then Munoz kind of got pushed into that situation.
That closer role.
But we have seen him in straight saves. For example, on the night that we're recording this, Munoz came in 3 up, 3 down, 3 out save.
Boom, no problems.
Redemption.
So I think, to bring up your question, is that it is a young guy cast into one of the biggest roles in baseball. The closer, that's a scary job.
It is.
There's a ton of pressure on the Mariners to win games right now as well, and he knows that.
And so if you're supposed to be that dude and you're in that mindset and now all of a sudden you're cast into the game, but it's not a win or go home situation, it's a just hold them situation, that messes with the closer's psyche. They're not focused on get 3 outs and we win the game. Now it's, can I hold them?
Is part of that he's going to come in again next inning?
I don't think they're going to have Munoz throwing
because if
2,
he gets
though.
he
already had a 4-out save earlier in the year.
And if he gets the hold,
I think it's possible he comes in the next inning.
I wouldn't like that
but
either, personally.
It depends on who's up.
But is that going on in his head?
I'm sure there's a lot
there's a lot going on.
There's a lot that is not get 3 outs and win the game. And that's kind of my point.
That's the only thing that needs to be going on.
Right.
In the tie ball game, I think he's still just trying to get that one out at a time. I don't think he's thinking about the next inning. It might be in the back of his mind subconsciously, but it's not in the forefront of your
Patrick's
vision.
saying get that out of there.
Yeah,
what should be?
And look, I agree.
His entire.
We have a couple more bullpen arms to throw when the game is tied, rather than putting Munoz in there. And also, do we trust Munoz to get saves like that without Brash and without Gregory Santos?
Yeah.
We're thin back there.
I was gonna say,
Stanek,
looking forward, we have Santos and Brash to look forward to. It's gonna get better. Our relievers are already great.
It will get better.
Yeah,
but it's gonna get better.
It happens. Look, it happens. Okay, a lot of things are happening early in the season here. Kirby's 8-0, like Kirby's loss on Wednesday. It's not gonna happen again, man.
Get dented.
That's it.
Oof.
And St. Munoz, it's gonna happen every once in a while where it's not his day. He can't put it in the strike zone. But we do have pitchers back there that can still get it done. I don't want to see Munoz in non-save situations. If we're gonna use him that way, keep him in win-only situations. That way he's not extra stressed. He doesn't have to worry about two things at once. He does one thing, and that's when we're ahead, he goes in and saves the game. And that's it. Nobody else. We can use Brash or Stanek. If Munoz has pitched a couple days in a row, we do have depth. If there's lefties up, we have Spire, who's amazing from the left side. We're good. Thornton's looked good. Like Bolton, I've been saying, has been pitching in non-leverage situations, but he might move up in that role. You know what I mean? We lost a guy like Isaiah Campbell. We lost guys like Penn Murphy, who were in those middle leverage roles that were moving towards those higher leverage roles. And all those guys, we can mix and match pretty well back there. We don't need Munoz in there at that moment because we do have another pitcher to hold it over one more inning and get back on the field and score runs and get ahead to give Munoz the ball when we're ahead. That's extra confidence in the back pocket of that pitcher that needs that. Like Patrick here is saying, like finicky ass closing pitchers. They're the most finicky pitchers there are. They need it to be just right. And that's when they perform their best.
I've got an interesting question for you guys
that
I thought of. Does George Kirby's 8-0 blowout at home against the Guardians, does that put a kibosh on his Cy Young bid?
No, dude. He's gonna make 30 more starts.
One game, yeah.
This is something I've been thinking about, and I figured you guys might be quick to write it off. But let's really look at this. Cy Young, you are the top pitcher in your league. You don't have a lot of wiggle room. You might have one bad start in there that you could write off. But 8-0 in 3 innings, that's going to be hard to write off. I'm saying if there is a pitcher in the league that is more dominant throughout, that 8-0 early Kirby blow-up could be what cost him from a Cy Young at the end of the season.
Maybe. We'll see.
We're going to have to see the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You and I were on the same page as like Kirby's really in the running for Cy Young, and then Matt said Luis Castillo that was his pick.
My odds are not looking good right now.
I was going to say, so what do you say about that?
Oh, Castillo.
It's out. According to...
I mean, Castillo would literally have to, maybe get 2 more losses throughout the entire season, and they could not be blow-ups.
I don't know, man. I think
he would have to finish the season like 15-4, 15-5 with dominant strikeouts and a low ERA to get that Cy Young.
Stop
if
getting
a starting
home runs
pitcher
hit off
makes
of him.
every start, they throw 32 games.
Okay, but how many
30 more games? 30 more games.
30
There's
more
enough
games
time
is a
to water down the bad first 2.
I get what you're saying, but how much? But he's out of wiggle room, is what I'm saying.
That's true.
No, he is out of wiggle room.
He has less margin for error. I understand that.
So you're saying he has a little bit of wiggle of his wiggle room left?
No.
I would say that his odds to be the Cy Young winner are not that diminished after 2 starts.
Pitchers are dropping like
5% maybe. I'm worried, but it just gives him less room for error.
We're losing pitchers at a good clip.
Bieber's gone. Strider's
Bieber's
gone.
gone. Strider's gone.
Also,
you never
I
know
hope
what
Strider
happens.
makes a quick recovery.
Who's Yankee
Me
guy?
too. Oh, Garrett
Garrett
Cole's
Cole.
not pitching right
Not
now.
Garrett Cole. Other guy, reliever.
Oh, some guy.
I can't remember his name, but he's out too. He just got not Tommy John, not like terrible, but out for the season.
Dang.
Just doesn't need surgery. But
I mean,
I
that's
can look
so.
it up. Give me 2 seconds.
If our
You guys
pitchers
talk all
stay
the
healthy, there's plenty of time to make a comeback, is what I'm saying. That's the Cy Young. I understand you have to be dominant almost every start to even have a chance at winning
The
that
pitcher
thing.
that wins the Cy Young is gonna have 27 of 33 dominant starts.
It does come down to how many innings you've pitched and how many how many strikeouts you have too. And yeah, okay, you're talking about Jonathan Loaizaga.
Loaizaga.
Yeah,
Patrick
yeah,
just
he's-
whispered to me, lasagna.
I don't know how to pronounce names.
Yeah, he's torn UCL. That's Tommy John.
That's Tommy John.
I thought I read he doesn't need Tommy John.
Oh, I
but
just realized last week I said UCL tendon. And I was like, no, dude, UCL is the ulnar collateral ligament. I said ulnar collateral ligament tendon. Sick. So smart. Either way, the UCL, yeah, that's the
Well,
Tommy
we're
John.
not a medical Sogcast.
Welcome
Dude,
back
for
to the
sure.
medical sodcast.
For all your doctor information, we're like WebMD. Just ask us.
Ask us about baseball, please.
All right. I think that's it for the week, boys.
Those are
think-
all the games, except for what happened today. We got a win.
We got to
did.
win.
Miller threw 7 innings, 3
Three
hits, 7 strikeouts. Munoz got a 3-up, 3-down save.
Whew.
That's the kind of
Let's
baseball
go.
Get out of
we
there.
want to see. I'll even take,
We hit home runs today.
yeah, like the 5-4 loss yesterday. Like that sucks, but
Yes.
you had a game. You know what I'm saying?
They
like
played better baseball.
I'll
There
take
was
that.
a chance.
I'll take that over the 8-0
Oh.
Guardians massacre, which
That's
is
the
just
one we're going to forget.
Yeah,
Moving
like that's not
forward,
even
we don't need to talk
fun
about
baseball
that.
to
Yeah,
watch.
not at all.
They're competing. They went on the road, and the 5-4 loss to Milwaukee was tough. The way we just broke down the end of that game.
Yeah.
Saturday was a good win.
How
like,
long's our
they're
road
playing
trip?
competitive baseball. We've scored 5 runs 2 days in a row. Milwaukee, and then we go to where did we go after Milwaukee?
I can tell you guys, we're going to
Blue
Toronto.
Jays, yeah.
Okay.
We're going to
And
Toronto.
then back home?
We're going to Toronto till the 10th. Then we have the Mariners have a travel day, and then at home for I got to go to one of these games. The Cubbies are in town.
Let's go.
My
That's gonna be
second team,
fun.
the Chicago Cubs. I got to root for a National League team, and the Cubs are my dudes. So, catch me at the stadium. And
Now you know what we
Yeah, you
look
know
like.
what
yeah,
it looks
now
like.
you know our faces. Thank you all so much for joining us on this journey. This was our first video Sogcast.
Hello, YouTube.
Hopefully,
You can actually see us.
It goes without too many bumps and troubles and stuff like that, and we get this out to you at a reasonable time.
Yeah, it'll just keep getting better. I mean, this is something new to us. It's been something we've been trying to do for a while, and here we are.
Yeah, we're on the next step, always trying to move forward. And, we're like the Mariners. Just keep...
We're going to lose a couple
We're
times.
going to lose, no one bats 1,000. What can you do?
Let's get 1% better every day and finish strong at the end of the season.
If this episode was 54% good...
Shoot for 55. At the end of the day, that's all we need.
Yep.
Well, thank you all so much for being a part of this. We caught you up on the week. We'll be back next week with more Mariners news. Thank you all, and
Go Mariners!